For some people, fame ages like a fine wine, but for most, it ages like roadkill in the hot sun. And in the music industry, 10 years is an insanely long time. Careers have begun, ended, and teased reunion tours in that time. Can a person who made a song popular with 16 to 21-year-olds in 2012 still make songs popular with 16 to 21-year-olds in 2022? Or keep their original fan base from abandoning them for the newest shiny thing? Well, let's find out, because I thought it might be fun to look back at my worst songs of 2012 for a little 10-year class reunion of sorts, and take a brief look at what each of these artists are doing now. Let's go in order. Number 10 on the worst songs list was Bella Thorne's TTYLXOX. I did a video about her 2 years ago titled Bella Thorne Ruins OnlyFans for Everyone, where she became the first person on the platform to make $1 million in the first 24 hours of joining the platform. Then, everyone got mad because she didn't share any naked pictures, so fans issued a bunch of chargebacks, and then OnlyFans had to change all their rules. Since then, she's made her OnlyFans free, she's been in a couple shitty made-for-streaming movies, and is still making music, including a song called In You, featuring Juicy J, where she raps the line, "Got you going dummy on this pussy like a crash site." A pretty major departure from asking people to BBB her BFF. Number 9 was Justin Bieber's As Long As You Love Me. Bieber's probably the biggest exception on this list here. His career continued to go extremely well in the last 10 years. In 2015, he had 3 #1 hits in a row from his Purpose album. In fact, of his last 17 songs, only 8 of them weren't top 10 hits. The other 9 were. However, Bieber's career might be in jeopardy for a completely different reason, as he was diagnosed with Ramsay Hunt syndrome. He had to cancel part of his tour due to facial paralysis. Dude physically can't sing. Which, I'm not gonna make fun of that. That's not how you want to see a guy's career end. You want to see it end due to a string of horrible songs, each one performing worse than the last, until the best they can do is being a house guest on Celebrity Big Brother. So, my hope is that Justin Bieber recovers from this illness and is able to continue his career until he's one day forced to be in the same room as Chris Kattan and Todd Bridges. Number 8 was Toby Keith's Red Solo Cup. That was old Toby's biggest mainstream hit, but may have marked him as a sellout or something, because right after that, he had one more country hit with Beers Ago, and then that was it. Even country fans stopped liking him. He went from consistently having top 20 hits on the country charts to sometimes not even charting. When you can't even get country fans to be excited about a song called Happy Birthday America, you know something went wrong with your career. Oh well, at least he still has his franchise of bars and grills. Oh shit, there's only one location left from the 20 that he had. Well, at least he still has his health. Oh Jesus. You know, maybe this video wasn't a good idea. I thought it'd be funny, but so far it's just sad. Well, anyway, number 7 was Future's Turn On the Lights. Here's a guy who, in 2012, I probably would have predicted not having a future. But he's doing pretty well for himself. He had a #1 hit this year with Wait For You, featured on the #1 hit song Way Too Sexy in 2021, and in 2020, had a #2 hit with Life Is Good. Now, it should be noted that all 3 of these songs involve Drake. So I guess this is what you gotta do to preserve your fame. You take the Madonna approach. Once you're not as famous anymore, you hitch your wagon to stars who are famous, and go along for the ride until the wheels fall off. Sure, people probably call all of those Drake songs when only one of them is, but you still make the streaming dollars, don't you, Future? Number 6 was Juicy J's Bandz Make Her Dance. We already mentioned how well his career is going right now. He's working with Bella Thorne. As a lead artist, Bandz Make Her Dance was his biggest hit. But you may recall in 2015, he managed a #1 by featuring on Katy Perry's Dark Horse. He hasn't appeared on the Billboard Hot 100 since 2018, as a feature on a Ray Shrimmered song. And he hasn't charted with one of his own songs since 2015, so I guess it's a good thing that he said in 2012 that you say no to ratchet pussy, but Juicy J can't. Because I don't think he can afford a higher class of ladies. Something to be said, when you're famous, don't lose your taste for the things that you liked when you were poor, because someday, that might be all you can afford. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Madonna from earlier, number 5 was Madonna trying to leech off Nicki Minaj and MIA's fame at the time when she released Gimme All Your Lovin'. That would be her last top 10 single on Billboard. She hasn't come close since then. But she's still out there trying to be relevant. Recently in the news for recreating the controversial 2003 kiss with Britney Spears at Britney's 2022 wedding. And she posted a photo of herself on Instagram back in February that was heavily filtered and featured her with lip fillers looking like a 16-year-old TikTok tart. This should be a PSA for Tinder. Is this who you're meeting for dinner? Or will it be her? Surprise, they're the same person. Number 4 was Fun. That's lowercase F-U-N with a period, with We Are Young. They'd follow that up with 2 more sappy snooze fests, Some Nights and Carry On. And then they would break up. Singer Nate Ruess would go on to have another number 1 hit with Pink, Just Give Me a Reason, then drift off into obscurity. But the real success story from Fun is Jack Antonoff, whose name will never not be funny to me. Jack Antonoff. But anyway, his band Bleachers has done okay, but it's his work as a writer and producer that's really made him some money. He won Grammys and made a huge name for himself with the sad girl crowd for his work on Taylor Swift's Folklore and Evermore. He can upgrade that period to an exclamation mark because I bet he's having a lot more fun now. Number 3 was Flo Rida's Whistle. When you Google Flo Rida, the first result in the People Also Ask section is, did Flo Rida stop making music? Which should tell you pretty much all you need to know about how his career is going. Perhaps one of the most bizarre stories to come out of all this, though. Flo Rida appeared at Eurovision in 2021, representing the tiny country of San Marino, population 33,000 people, as he featured on a song by Senhit. And yes, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So yeah, that's what Flo Rida's doing now. Whoring himself out to a tiny country for a song contest that people in North America only know about because Will Ferrell made a movie about it. Number 2 was Rihanna and Chris Brown's Birthday Cake. Chris Brown's apparently stopped hitting women, but is still making hits, charting in 2020 with Go Crazy and in 2019 with No Guidance, which by the way, that one also featured Drake. Is there anyone who doesn't owe Drake a bit of thanks for keeping their career alive? And Rihanna seems semi-retired from music. She did release a song in 2020 with a Canadian artist named Party Next Door. Before that, she hadn't done anything since 2017. She recently had a baby with A$AP Rocky, and likely makes more money than she ever made as a singer by selling fashion and beauty products under the name Fenty, to women who wish they could be as hot as Rihanna, or to women who need to cover up the bruises from the Chris Brown in their lives. And number 1 was the 4-way tie between basically every song Nicki Minaj released that year. Nicki's music career is still doing fairly well, though it's mostly overshadowed by not being able to get out of her own way. Like working with pedo 6ix9ine, or during COVID when she claimed that her cousin's friend got the vaccine and his testicles swelled up and his fiancée called off the wedding, suggesting that maybe you shouldn't get the COVID vaccine. Well, there's absolutely no evidence to suggest that that's what the COVID vaccine can do. You know what does cause swollen testicles? Chlamydia and gonorrhea. Dude probably cheated on his soon-to-be wife, his balls blew up, and he went, "Oh, must have been the vaccine, baby, I swear!" And she left. Anyway, she's teased a new album in 2022. Could she top my worst songs list 10 years after she did it the first time? Guess we'll see in a few months.